Hi friends. Today's topic is that of a startup term. It is a term that is used most frequently in startup, but I've really seen it starting to become introduced into other businesses as well. Really any business where you have like a product or a service or a process that's evolving over time, so anything really, can use this term in some way. But you're most frequently going to see it used in startup or tech or something like that. I do pay really close attention to job postings in this industry, partly because I've been through two really major job searches in the past 2 years. And so I do like to just kind of keep up with the different terminology and things that are being put out in these job postings, specifically for positions like startup project management. And I'm seeing this term being used more and more and more in job postings. So I know it's something that we really need to be familiar with from a project manager perspective. And as we know, if you've watched several of my other videos, you know that a startup project manager is really a combination of all kinds of different things: product, project, client, and all of these other things. Yes, I know that is not a project manager that you find in other industries. I'm talking about a startup project manager, and typically what you find companies are looking for in a project manager. So if you are a project manager at startup, you will need to know what MVP is. It is not most valuable player, okay? That is in sports. MVP in startup means minimum viable product. And I will read you the definition because I cannot memorize that. The definition is the version of a new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning about customers with the least effort. So really this is talking about iteration, right? You are building this minimum viable product, which is going to be the kind of like the smallest thing or idea that you can put forward towards this group of people who may be early adopters and find value in that. You want to put the least amount of time and resources and effort involved into creating this thing. It's not going to be a perfect thing. It's not going to be a thing that has all the features. It's just a small bit of it so that you can gather feedback from these very valuable users who typically are early adopters, and they will give you good feedback to help inform the direction of that product. This is really tricky for a project manager who's coming from a true project management position. It's tricky to wrap your mind around. It was tricky for me because prior to this industry, I was used to working with project managing things that had clear scope, clear start, and a clear delivery. You were working towards a clear goal, and there was an end date. And once you completed the project and the product was complete, you didn't go and iterate on it. You might have a client come back and make changes here and there, but it wasn't a thing where you just kind of throw it out there and see how people react and then put some more effort into it to make it a little better and then incorporate that feedback and that sort of a thing to build on it and iterate on it. I was used to this really clear scope through delivery kind of project life cycle. So if you are a project manager who's coming from more of that kind of project management, which is actual project management, it may be a little difficult for you to wrap your mind around the concept of minimum viable product. I like to think of minimum viable product as something that we do every day without realizing it. This is really how I am able to wrap my mind around all of these agile terms and acronyms and words and things like that. But we do this every day, right? We have minimum viable products that we throw out there every day. I consider my YouTube channel a minimum viable product. I obviously didn't buy lighting or a super good webcam or I don't even know how to edit the videos. So I'm just throwing it out there to see. I have an idea of maybe a topic that people could use some more information on, some insight into. And that's really what I'm throwing out there, is this knowledge. I also want to do it really concisely, so I try to keep them between 5 and 7 minutes, because I know myself, I'm really busy, and it's very challenging for me to watch a video of any length. So I do try to keep them short, even though that means I may not get all of my thoughts or ideas into those videos. I hope to add some value through them. So that's an example of my minimum viable product. You can kind of think about different ways you use minimum viable product in your day-to-day, but just remember, MVP means minimum viable product, and that sort of gives you an idea of how that informs the different kinds of projects that you're going to be dealing with at startups. They're not typically going to be your clear start, clear stop types of projects. So hope that helps, and we'll see you next time.